Top 7 Most Notorious Drug Lords. Welcome to Interesting Top 7s. In our previous video, we smashed a goal of over 3,000 likes. If this video reaches over 2,000 likes, we will put out an all-new drug lord video. With that said, let's get started. No, you're not seeing double. In fact, we've covered lords of crime before, but like most subjects and criminals, there's plenty more than just 7 to go around. Organized crime has always been known for its ruthless and systemic patterns, orchestrated by some debatably talented, yet tainted personalities. While last time we concentrated on some of the richest, today let's take a look at 7 of the most notorious drug lords of all time. Number 7. Frank Lucas. Remember that Denzel Washington movie, American Gangster? Of course you do. That movie kicks ass. Anyway, as you may already know, that film is a slightly fictionalized retelling of this real-world hardcore heroin boss's life. Born in 1930 and raised in North Carolina, Lucas witnessed his cousin's murder by the hands of the KKK at a young age. Turning to a life of petty crime, Lucas eventually rose the ranks in Harlem, New York, becoming a massively successful opiate dealer in the late 1960s and early 1970s by cutting out the middleman and dangerously purchasing his product directly from the source. Although he's been in and out of prison his entire life, Lucas, now in his upper 80s, lives life a free man. Number 6. Griselda Blanco. A lady she was not. A badass? We guess so. Well, one thing is for certain, Blanco was brutally ruthless, violent, and almost certainly psychotic. Specializing in cocaine, a childhood of slowly escalating criminal endeavors led to her becoming an incredibly fearsome Colombian drug lord of the Medellin cartel. As one of the founding pioneers of the Miami-based drug trade in the late 70s and early 80s, she is responsible for the estimated murders of 200 different individuals, including the shooting of a 2-year-old child. After spending almost 2 decades behind bars, where, by the way, she continued to run her business, she was released and assassinated soon after by a drive-by motorcycle shooting, one of the same methods she'd employed. Number 5. Freeway Rick Ross. We know what you're thinking, but no, this is not rapper Rick Ross. This is Richard Donald Ross, otherwise known as the guy who single-handedly ignited the US crack cocaine epidemic. Nicknamed Freeway due to the properties he owned along the LA Harbor Freeway, Ross's crack career became so successful, he was selling tons of the stuff. That's not an exaggeration either. Authorities estimate he purchased and resold several metric tons of cocaine. With earnings so high, at the peak of his career, he'd make about $3 million per day. Although he was sentenced to life in prison and incarcerated in 1996, a federal appeal was ultimately responsible for his release from custody in 2009. Number 4. Khun Sa. Born in 1934 in Papeng Village in the British Burma, Khun Sa, which literally translates to Prince Prosperous, was a Shan warlord that made one hell of a splash in the criminal underworld, first forming his own several hundred-man army in Burma in the early 60s following the Chinese Civil War. He went on to become so darkly successful, he was even metaphorically crowned. Dubbed the Opium King, his massive opium smuggling operations in the Golden Triangle secured not just a legacy, but a fortune and a half as well. Although he surrendered to the Burmese government, they refused to extradite him, allowing him to enjoy a life of luxury until his natural passing in 2007. Number 3. Amado Fuentes, also known as the Lord of the Skies for his penchant towards transporting drugs via large jet fleets. Amado Fuentes got his start by overseeing the cocaine shipments of his uncle Don Neto in Chihuahua. After his career flourished and the pressure rose on American and Mexican authorities to capture him, he underwent a private plastic surgery procedure to drastically alter his appearance, but never made it out alive. Even though today's list isn't just about finances, it's worth noting that Fuentes is regarded as one of the wealthiest criminals in history, enjoying an estimated net worth of over $25 billion in the relatively short 40 years he spent on this planet. Number 2. Arturo Leyva. This former kingpin, also known as the head leader of the Mexican drug trafficking organization, the Beltrán Leyva cartel, was responsible for not only marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamine and heroin production, wholesaling and transport, but also innumerable counts of laundering, kidnapping, smuggling, extortion, gun running, torture, contract killing, and just straight up good old-fashioned murder. After he survived an attempted assassination at his own Christmas party in 2009, he was killed by Mexican Navy intelligence just 1 week later following an hour-and-a-half shootout with authorities. Number 1. Ismael Zambada García. Often referred to as Mexico's last kingpin, or even public enemy number one, Ismael Zambada García has ties to the infamous El Chapo, but unlike his notorious brethren, Garcia's antics are arguably even more swift and sly than that of his sometimes incarcerated partner. As Mexico's most enduring and powerful drug lord, he has resorted to plastic surgery to disguise himself throughout his travels in Mexico, serving as leader of the Sinaloa cartel, an organization that exports cocaine and heroin into Chicago and other cities via trains, ships, aircraft, and even submarines. The FBI's current bounty price on Garcia? $5 million. And that's just for pointing them in the right direction. It's safe to say this is definitely what you call a dangerous wanted man. Hey, look at that. You made it to the end. Thanks again for watching Interesting Top 7s. Do you have an idea for a future top 7? Leave a comment below. We get tons of ideas every week. Who knows, you may see your idea in an upcoming list. And as always, if you love our lists, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for new videos every week.